Once you've completed your placement test, MobyMax will have a little spinning circle with a please wait sign, and then you should see a screen that looks like this. It should be a green box and it should ask you ready to start your new lesson. So you'll see what you're going to be studying. So in this case, I'm going to be studying gerunds, and these are the different lessons I'm going to have on gerunds. So there's 4 lessons on gerunds. So I'd want to click to continue, and it should start with a video explaining something about gerunds to me.
A verbal looks like a verb, but it functions as a different part of speech. For example, in the sentence, running is my least favorite activity, running is a verbal. I know the word run looks like a verb, but running is actually the subject of this sentence, which means it functions as a noun. A verbal can function as a noun, an adjective, or an adverb. For example, to heal was the physician's first priority. To heal is a verbal. It looks like a verb, but it functions as a noun in this sentence.
All right, I'm going to do what I don't normally have you do, and I skipped to the next slide by clicking the play button.
Gerunds function as.
Now, one thing I want to caution you on is what I just did. Please do not skip the videos. The video's purpose is to teach you something you do not already know. And yes, you could read it yourself, but it does give you a little bit more data than what appears on the screen. So please watch the videos. You don't want to just get MobyMax Language done. And maybe some of you out there are saying, yes, I do. I just want to fulfill my 300-minute requirement for the quarter or whatever number I've set for you. However, you will have to continue doing the same lessons over and over again until you pass with a certain score. I have it set up so that you can't just get it done and move on. I have it set up so that you have to pass with a certain score before it counts as something that you've completed permanently. So if you'd like to graduate from MobyMax, which a couple of your classmates have already done, if you'd like to graduate from MobyMax, then you actually need to accomplish and retain the information. And the only way to learn or retain the information is to actually listen to the videos, learn what you're supposed to do, and then answer the questions to show what you know. So show me what you know so you don't have to keep doing MobyMax. All right, so you could listen to those videos. In fact, I highly recommend it. Some of the kids in previous years have gotten bored with the videos because they say they're too slow. Well, they're too slow because they're reading to you and talking to you and teaching you. So watch the videos. If for some reason you do watch the videos and you forget what you've just watched or heard, you can click on the little camera up here and you can say, I want to watch tutorial 1 again, or I want to watch tutorial 2 again. If you remember when I clicked the play button, the over arrow, it skipped me to the next tutorial. So you could click on those. Let's just do that. And it will let you see them. I'm not sure if it'll show you it in the form of a video or... Let's see.
But it
Oh, yep,
functions
it
as
does.
a different part
It
of.
shows you the video again just if you accidentally click on it or if you need a review. You can also see the table of contents for this lesson. Takes a little bit of time to upload, but it lets you see the different pages you're going to be looking at under identifying gerunds part 1, and then you can also look at part 2, and so on and so forth. And then these are the other things that you'll have to be studying in the future. So it gives you a table of contents so you can actually see what you've studied just a second ago in case you've forgotten, because they really want you to learn. So they're going to keep letting you review what you've looked at to reinforce learning. I'm going to close out of this. Okay, so you can actually have it read to you if you want.
Gerunds function as blank.
And then you'd want to pick what gerunds function as. So I'm going to pick incorrectly on purpose so that you can see what happens when you answer incorrectly. And then I would click go. And it wants me to try again for partial credit. So I have another chance to try for an answer. I'm going to, again, pick incorrectly so that you can see what happens. Okay, so a lot of students, rather than being intelligent and reading what it says and
the correct answer is
putting it in their head,
nouns.
A lot of students will just skip this and go on to the next question. Again, it is not all about going to the next question. Make yourself sit there and learn, oh yeah, that's right, a gerund is a noun. And then click go to the next question. Okay, gerunds always end in, and I'm going to show you, if I can get it correctly this time, I'm going to show you what a right answer, what a right answer looks like. And it will give you a little check mark, and then it will move you on. And notice the stars down here tell you how well you did on it. And let's see what else you can do. You can um, see that there are session minutes. I've spent 8 minutes on this actually. 5 of them I've been focused. So it's telling me for 3 minutes I haven't done anything, which is really good for you to know because I do grade you on whether or not you're fully focused while you're doing this assignment. For instance, if you're pausing to look up at the television, like I know some of you do, it's going to notice that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. There's a mathematical formula it uses. If you're trying to be sly and sneaky and deceitful, like I had one student who just kept her computer open to the same question for about 10 minutes. I mean, I can tell that. It lets me know this person didn't do, they had like 50% focus or 30% focus. And I can also see how many questions you've done in the time period that you sat there doing your assignment. So if you're only doing like 11 questions in 30 minutes, to me that's a huge problem because you are not being 100% focused. So I do know, I don't mean that as a threat. I mean that so that you know that I can tell if you're being sneaky. So don't be sneaky. Just do what you need to do so that you can graduate from this program and go on to bigger and better things. All right, so if at any point you want to stop, you can hit the stop button. This will sign you out. You can also hit the sound button. You can also zoom in on things. You can also go back to the home page where all those modules were. But you probably will have to complete the first 4 stars again. Let's just check to be sure. So we're going to go home. And we're going to go back to language. And it should automatically start you on the lesson. Yep. But see how we have to start this lesson all over again? So really try hard to at least complete one lesson before you exit out of it. Sometimes you can't help it though, because I know the bell will ring and you have to go to your next class so you're not late. But if you remember what you studied, you should be able to click through pretty fast on that one. Oh wait, it did actually. It did start me there, so that's good. So now that you know, if you sign out correctly or whatever else, if you don't just close it, it probably will save your place. I didn't know that, so that's really cool to know. Okay, I'm going to show you something else on Edmodo that you can check. You can check your time and your score, I think, if you go to this check mark. And you can go to this little timer. And it will tell you what you've done so far. And don't really worry about school or home. That's fine. Just worry about, in general, what you spent your time on. Now, you notice that you can scroll through. So say this is how much time I've spent total on MobyMax, 11. It's not counting how much time I spent on language. I have to actually scroll over to language and see the minutes right there. Because in some schools and in some instances, you might be using another module other than language. So if I ask you for 300 language minutes in 1/4, I should see 300 show up. Now, it's going to be rather difficult and annoying for you, I know. You will have to add these up. So that's why I'd recommend doing maybe 15-minute sessions at a time or 30-minute sessions at a time so that it's an nice even number that's really quick to add up. And if you do a half an hour a week for 10 weeks, right there you've got 300 minutes. So in the first quarter, if you choose to do half an hour, so you could do 2 15-minute sessions a week, or you could choose to break it up into 6 minutes or 5-minute sessions for 6 times a week. I don't know. I would do whatever you think is smart for you. But make it easy for yourself to count because it is kind of hard. You can also record this on paper for yourself too, so you don't have to keep coming back here and looking. Another thing you can see is your progress. So you can see what you're working on now, and you can see how many grade levels you've risen. Don't get discouraged. Some of you will probably start down below your grade level. Like I have some kids who are in the 3rd or 4th grade level of grammar in high school, and that's okay. All it means is there are some skills from 3rd or 4th grade that you don't know, and we don't all have the same grammar background. Some kids got it a ton when they were little, some kids didn't get it at all, but you'll catch up pretty fast if you do what you're supposed to do. So this is where you can tell what it looks like. And you can also look at other things if you want to for math, reading. You can see there's other ones you could click on, but only data will show up in here once you've actually done lessons on them. Okay, you can also play games. I have it set up that every 15 minutes I think you spend, you can earn game time. So it'll tell you how much game time you have. I've earned 75 minutes and 58 seconds. And these are generally educational games, but some of them, I think the birdie one a lot of kids like and think it's goofy. So you can play some games on here. You can also go to the game store and yeah, if you earn game time points, you can unlock a new game. So that's something too, that's kind of cool too that you can do. Right? You can also earn badges. Let's see. So every time you complete a certain number of minutes or lessons, it'll give you a badge, and the badge will tell you something about this little thing. And it's goofy, but I kind of like it. Like you can learn some cool things. Yep, here it is. If you answer 15 problems correctly, you earn a new badge. All right. And you can have some goals that we've set for yourself. I mean, I can set these goals for you if you want me to. I think that's what I usually do. I'm supposed to, but we don't really use it quite like that. And then there are some contests you can enter or I can create so that you can compete against your classmates. And if there's a contest you'd like to do, just let me know and I can put that in there. We can have some sort of MobyMax Language challenge or something like that where um, you guys could earn game points for our overall class game doing that. So just let me know something that you think you'd like to do on there. And just make sure you sign out in the end. And make sure that you signed out of Edmodo. Remember, to get into MobyMax right now, you have to be signed into Edmodo. Please, please, please make sure you log out of Edmodo after you log out of MobyMax. Hopefully this year they'll fix the app feature and it won't be so hard that you'll have to log out of two different things. But as of right now, it is what it is, so we have to deal with it. All right, please let me know if you have any questions. Enjoy.